So one of the things you're going to hear us speak on a lot is that we allow the land to tell us where things should go. And, you know, when you think of sustainability, when you think of off-grid living, you think of all these things, but it's pretty much done, right, for environmental impact and to reduce cost of living, to create more freedom. Those are the two concepts. So when it comes to those two concepts too, we kind of had this really unique way. Me more so working with energy and intuitive ways of being or whatnot, felt really called to just let the land tell us where things were supposed to go. There's a difference in doing that versus being like, oh, we are going to put this here so that we have to clear out more. So one of the things when it came to like our outhouse and our shower spot and all that jazz is, so up there, you can kind of see it through the trees, is our tent. Like that's our home base right now. But that's going to shift, and we knew that's going to shift. And we have plans for areas back down this way. But we had this old logging road. So this old logging road has already suffered environmental impact, right? It's already had things cut down. It's already had the path paved, if you will. And so it would be better to utilize that, right, than to try to create a new way, a new path. So exploring down this way, kind of got over here, and now I have added, we'll say 35% of these stones, but the other percentage of them were already here on this corner, so it kind of looked like this natural flower bed. And that caught my attention because it looked intentional, right? Even though no one to my knowledge had done it that way. And it kind of drew my attention to this path here. And again, this was another logging road that had begun to grow up. So as we came through here, it was just kind of seemed like a natural progression. We didn't want the compost right by the house. That way, if we did get wind or did struggle with smell or anything like that, that wouldn't affect us. So it was a good distance from the house. The path was already been paved. We didn't want to disturb anything else. This was the eye catcher, right? And then we get to come through here. And one of the first things that we noticed was it started feeling like doorways, right? We have this doorway here to enter. So tree, this doorway here. And then kind of felt like a doorway here. And it kind of felt like a doorway here. So we started checking out this little round spot, and you can see the trees, right? Like they're grown in this round spot. So that really caught our attention. So immediately we were like, shower place, like here's a door. And started noticing all the natural drains around it. And I talked about that in the last video about the outdoor shower. But noticing the natural drains. So that means that when we do hook this outdoor shower up, when it has reached its max evolution and functioning status of our vision, then we do not have to dig those drains. Like those drains are already there. That's the lay of the land. So we're not going to have to like harm anything. We're going to use less energy that way. We're going to use less money that way. Mental power, you know, all that jazz. And we'll just go with the lay of the land. Things will hopefully work smoother that way. Kind of the same thing with the bathhouse or with the toilet house. We didn't have to clear this out too much. It was just kind of here, and we noticed it starting to get wide, so it felt like we could sit something right here and still pass around it. So somehow we just kind of landed here and thought it worked really well. And then you'll see us get a little bit further over here in our compost pile. So again, working with the lay of the land. We're flat right now, and then right at the edge of this compost pile, this trail starts going down, and we did have to do some clearing out here. Some trees that had already grown back. But it starts going downhill. So we took this out as far as we could, knowing that we have to get 3 more bins in here out of pallets. So that gives room for one more and another one, and still leaves space outside of the compost house. And then we don't have to go like downhill again. It's just kind of all naturally set up. Being able to have all these bathroom elements here on one stretch also helps us in energy efficiency of like having to move materials back and forth, having to move dirt. Sphinx is on the prowl. Having to move dirt back and forth, having to dump the waste, having to dump the water, you know, all that jazz. So that's kind of how, when you hear me speak about allowing the land to tell us where to place things, that's kind of what I'm meaning by that. That's how that works. Otherwise, right, if we had been really like strong-willed against wanting things closer to us, because it is a nice little walk, nice little morning, evening walk. If we had wanted it closer to us, then we were going to have to spend a lot more time cutting down trees. We were going to be essentially like taking those lungs out of the land. You know, it's a whole deal. So being able to be mindful about what your land is telling you is super helpful. So as always, you all, thank you for showing up and for listening. Let me know down in the comments your perspective, your thoughts, feelings on this topic, what you want to hear next, and we'll see you next time.